So we have a quorum and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the February 21st budget workshop.
So moved.
Motion
Second,
made by
Ilda.
Mark. Did
Second by
somebody-
Ilda.
Hilda.
Seconded by Ilda. Thank you. Well, look, your glasses match your shirt. You look very nice, Ilda. Any comments or questions on the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor, please indicate so by raising your hand. Okay, I'm abstaining because I was absent at that meeting. Then I would entertain motion to approve the regular meeting on February 28th minutes.
So moved.
Motion made by Paula,
Second.
seconded by Alicia. Any comments or questions on those minutes? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. Okay, it's unanimous. Thank you, everybody. And now we're on to public comment. Is there anybody who would like to speak during the public comment section of the meeting? Anybody signed up? No, and I don't see anybody online who wants to speak. So we're going to move on. Board Chair's report. I just quickly want to make an announcement that our budget will be handed off to the Board of Finance this week. And we have been invited to present our budget to the Board of Finance next Wednesday, the 20th of March. And I'm encouraging any board members who can be at Town Hall at 7 p.m. next week when we present our budget to the Board of Finance to do so, to be there in support and show your support, and also any members of the public who want to show up and support us, or from the schools who want to show up and support us. That would be great. The format of the meeting will be that we'll be doing a presentation and an overview on our budget and then open it up to questions. They're not going to be voting on it that night. There will be probably another opportunity for us to go answer questions at some point before they finalize everything. But I wanted to let folks know that. And the other thing is, we're working with the town council to get a date in April for us to go and present overview of the elementary school consolidation approach that we voted on pursuing as a board. But there are certainly lots of questions in the community about that. And this is sort of the first public presentation on that. So that will be happening in April. I believe we're shooting for the middle of the month for one of their Tuesday evening meetings, but I'll let you all know. Thank you. So,
Oh, Lynn,
yes, Mary.
is the elementary school consolidation plan online? Like on the website for people to find?
The outline of like the
The ed
presentation,
specs.
the ed specs?
It's a great
Oh,
question. I'd have to verify that
know.
with Holly.
Yeah, because I just, I have the draft one and I don't think the numbers are, there's like something about third and fourth grade and there were only 10 classrooms. So anyway, I had some questions about that, but I wasn't able to find the one we approved.
We'll look into that and get back to you, Mary. Thank you. Anything else before we move on to the next item on our agenda, which is what's cool in our school for early childhood?
Yes,
Tracy?
tonight's the Littles Wyndham Early Childhood Center is showcased this evening. So I'm going to hand it over to Aliki Karaganis and let her introduce an adorable video. You're going to love it. I saw it earlier today.
Okay, we're gonna, because we have some parents here and our kids are little, we want them to be able to get out. So I'm gonna speak for a moment and then have parents come up and then we'll end with our video. But I've been pondering that question, what's cool about our school? And it's hard to narrow it down. I mean, I thought about, is it the diversity of the students, the families, the staff? The fact that we actually have a real curriculum for 2-month-old babies? Is it the commitment to developmentally appropriate practices? Is it the resiliency of a rather nomadic staff that regardless of circumstances, they are ready to greet and teach children anywhere, anytime, and never miss an opening day despite that? Is it the collaborative environment, the relationship-based approach to working with a whole child and their families? Simply put, I think it's all of the above. Tonight we have some parents. Jose is Noah's dad, and Noah is in early Head Start. Kenya is, well, she's the mother of 3 students who have been through our program. One is finishing up, and she now works for us because she got to know the program so well. And we have a few others who haven't, oh, there, I didn't recognize you. I saw her very early this morning. I'm sorry. And I'm not, I hope I don't butcher your name. Miguelina, who also has an early Head Start child with us. And then Jane is our instructional coach, and they all have something to say about what's cool about our school.
Aliki, can you just make sure the microphone is lit up green?
It is.
Awesome. Great.
Okay. So, Jose, you want to go first? Because I know you were here first.
Hi, good night. What I have to say that the
Excuse
program-
me, do you want to just start by, when
Okay.
each of you get up, say your name, so people who are watching online and whatever
Alright.
know who you are? Thank
Yeah.
you.
Hi, my name is Jose Quiñones. I'm the dad of Noah Quiñones. He's gonna be at 2 years old. He's been in the program since technically since he's born, like I think 2 or 3 months when he was birth. Since then, everything been wonderful. I feel that the teacher have a really commitment with the kids. They always happy. I always see like all of them, no matter where they are, like helping each other. And nothing else to say. I'm just very happy and very grateful with the program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Miguelina. Soy la madre de un niño que va a la escuela de Eli High. La verdad que me siento súper orgullosa de esa escuela porque la verdad ha sido un apoyo muy bueno para mi hijo, para mí. Siempre han estado ahí pendiente de la crianza de mi niño, como si fuera en casa. Mi hijo fue alérgico a los pañales de esa escuela. Y ellos me dijeron, ¿cuáles pañales son los que usan? Y yo, oh, tal marca. Y también me apoyaron en eso. La verdad que me siento súper bien. Es una escuela muy, muy interesante para los padres que también quieran tener a sus hijos ahí o a los nietos. La verdad que son una persona que nos apoyan bastante y le doy las gracias también por todo el apoyo a la directora y a los demás profesores que siempre están ahí pendientes de ellos y de nosotros también como padres. Entonces, muchísimas gracias.
I'll summarize it for you guys. So she basically said in, short words, that she's very happy with the experience she's had in early childhood. She's had amazing support, not only from the school, but especially with her and her child, like in a one-on-one basis. And she also mentioned how her child was allergic to the diapers they were using in the daycare, and they took the time out of their day to ask her, like, what specific diapers does your son use? So they were able to bring that into the daycare and, help him have a comfortable change in his diaper when he entered the daycare. And she's very, very happy. And she's been happy with the outcome with, Aliki as a director and with the teacher's help.
We also have an alumnus who's now in third grade.
Third grade alumnus, I love it.
We can adjust the microphone.
You
too.
can pick it up and bring it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your name.
Hi, my name is K&A. And all my friends from preschool are in my class now. And the ones that are just English, they also know each other from kindergarten or from other places they've been to. And I'm happy that I have the same friends because I'm not as shy. I was the first day of preschool.
Good job, baby. You're not shy anymore. And we would like to congratulate you on your first public. Would you like to go with the parents?
Hello, my name is Kenya Morales. That was my daughter, Kay. I would have to say that she was the first one that started this whole journey in the early childhood. She started early childhood at 8 months old, and it honestly was an amazing experience from, daycare, keeping you posted on a daily basis of what they ate, what they did throughout the day, and all the activities. And I have 3 kids now who are, have been through the early childhood program, and one that just started. And since he started, he's done amazing. And watching the journey and the growth of this program since like 2018 has been great. And also having the opportunity to work in this program and in this school in which I've watched my kids grow in has been a great journey. And I appreciate it so much.
I'm going to look at notes. Okay. So my name is Jane. I'm the instructional coach. So I've been here for 8 years now, and I can say what really is cool about our school is its philosophy. We really have an understanding that children's development is the foundation for learning. And in contrast, and in my experience, there are other pre-K programs out there where, say, art and music are taught for 45 minutes a week, and where sight words are pushed before children have a grasp of oral language skills. And in our school, art and music happen every day in the classroom. We promote oral language conscientiously and persistently throughout the day. We also recognize that social emotional learning and executive function skills are absolutely necessary for academic growth. And they must be taught and practiced all year long. In our curriculum maps, we have the first 3 that focus on social studies, the next 3 on science. So they're very hands-on, inquiry-based. I guess the term now is PBL. But they are like it's whole learning into which literacy and math is integrated. So the children don't know that they're working. They think they're having fun. I'd say I think the last thing I'll just say is that I believe our community is really unique in that whenever there's a child struggling, anyone will step up and do what we can to support that child. And it's definitely not the situation that I have witnessed in other programs. And these are some of the reasons I'll say that I'm sticking it out here in spite of it not being the easiest place to work, but I do love it.
Thank
So if
you.
you could start whoever you are. I don't know who is in charge of getting the video going, but now you can hear from our students about what's cool at our school.
I'm assuming someone in the back is turning the video on.
My school is cool
Why?
because a playground
And what else?
and the bike
And what else?
and the school.
Yeah.
Cool about your school.
I like say and flow.
And Flo.
Reynalise, what's something cool about your school?
Oh, it's reading my favorite books.
What's cool about your school?
Playing with my friends.
Pedro, ¿qué es algo genial en tu escuela? ¿Aprender sobre la construcción?
Yeah.
Muy bien.
Where the school is cool because I like the artists.
School
How cool.
is cool
Cool.
because,
We have a playground.
and what else?
See ya. Bikes. See ya.
Bye.
Ooh.
What's cool about our school?
I get to play with my friends.
Kevin, what's cool about our school?
Of the friends.
Your friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Haley, what's something cool about your school?
Learning about habitats. A mí me gusta jugar y me los juguetes.
What do you like about school?
I like about playing with blocks.
Playing with blocks. What do you like to build with the blocks?
I like to build a castle.
What else do you like doing in school?
I like playing centers.
Tell me about your centers.
I like painting, and I like Play-Doh, and I like blocks.
Thanks, Ezekiel.
Aicha, ¿qué te gusta de la escuela?
Jugar burbujas.
Jugar con las burbujas. What's cool about your school?
The water table.
The water table? Yeah. What's cool about your school?
Favorite. I pay down.
Playing in the playground? Zoe, what's cool about your school?
Pizza Friday.
Ooh, yummy. What's cool about your school?
Play with Legos.
Play with Legos?
Yeah.
So what's cool about school?
And I'm Mr. Chandra, and I love to play with slime.
Yeah?
Slime is stretchy though. Things that I really love to do on art is cheetahs. I like playing with my friends the best in school.
What else is cool about your school?
And I just love doing some tricks about dancing, backflips, and handstand.
What else is cool about your school?
And I just love doing experiments.
Huh?
¿Comer pizza?
Sí.
So, ¿tu hora de almuerzo es tu mejor parte del salón? Ok, gracias.
De nada.
We actually have two parents who just came. So if we could give them a moment.
Yes, absolutely.
To you.
Ooh. Oh my God. Um, so my English is it's not perfect, okay? My Spanish, English, you know. My name is Oscar Bernie. I live in here for 10 years in Willimantic. I have two little kids. Very strong. It's crazy, you know. But in the program, the school, that's perfect. There's not a complaint. Everybody, the lady, it's good team, you know, good working for whatever meeting, you know, activity. That's good. My baby every day in the morning is happy. Go to the school, daddy, daddy. So he's going on, you know, good team in the school, you know. So I appreciate it for every ladies, you know, good job. So thank you.
Okay, that wraps up what's cool about our school for Wyndham Early Childhood Center. Thank you very much.
Well represented. Thank
Yes.
you. And I know Alicia taught at the program for years. Do you want to say anything, Alicia?
I was a preschool teacher for 27 years and I loved to work in there. So that was the only place that I worked at the preschool.
So don't feel like you have to wait around. You're obviously all welcome to stay, but you also can take off now if you'd like. Thank you so much for showing up and speaking so wonderfully about the program. Appreciate
Can
it.
I say something before they leave?
Get it in and made the video. Ilda, you wanted to say?
Yes, I just want to say, great job, Aliki. Those kids are amazing. And the parents are great, especially this last dad who did amazing. Very good.
Thank you all, and thank you for your continued support.
You're
Yes, and
welcome.
I would like to
Tina?
add, please, that good luck in your retirement, Aliki. And also, we didn't see the babies, but the babies are adorable in early childhood in the Head Start program. So, and also being well cared for and educated. Thank you.
I'm so sorry
you
to have
very
missed tonight.
Thank you for sharing with us tonight. We really appreciated you all coming out, and you can go home and eat or go to bed or whatever you need to do. Thanks. Oh, yes, somebody's already.
They can go home and eat pizza. They can go eat pizza, Lynn.
That was wonderful. So Tracy, I'll hand it over to you.
Okay. First item on my superintendent's report is just officially notifying the board. I know everyone already knows from our emails and our phone calls, but this is just officially recognizing the fact that Natchog Elementary School has been named by the Connecticut Association of Schools Elementary School of the Year. That's right.
Does Principal Janine want to come up and say anything? I mean, where do you go from here if you start like a week or two after being taking the acting part of your title taken away and then having this happen?
Well, let me get back to you on where we go from here. But good evening, board,
Dr. Youngberg, Mr. Weathers, thank you for the opportunity to speak for a moment. We were so ecstatic when we announced it. I see some of my staff out there. The building erupted when we heard. When I received the call, immediately I called Dr. Youngberg to share the good news, and it was really exciting because it was a unanimous vote also, and they were their words were they were inspired by our work. So that was really exciting. What was also exciting is Paula was with us on the tour when the CAS committee came. So she was able to tour the building with them and see all the things that we're talking about too. And what was really special is that 20-minute tour that we were able to give them before we met with the focus groups. We intended to get to every single classroom. The students were so invested and the staff was so invested. We thought it was extremely important, even though it was a quick tour, right, Paula? We wanted them to see what we were talking about, but we wanted the students to be able to lay eyes on this committee that we said was coming to see how great Nat Jug School was. And so the students were so invested. The next day when they arrived at school and I was at arrival at the front doors, they kept asking me, Mrs. E, did we win? Are we winners? I said, I don't know yet. I'll let you know. So when we did find out, I made the announcement, the building shook. And then we quickly, right, Pam helped me out. We quickly jumped into a dance party in the hallways, got a flyer going so that we could send them home. Pam was out front passing them out to family members. We had people out passing them out to the students that were riding buses because we wanted to get that announcement out there. So the kids wanted an ice cream party. We made that happen yesterday, and now they want a parade. So we're going to make that happen too. So that's in the works. So stay tuned for more.
Congratulations. I think we should give you a round of applause.
And Jeannie isn't kidding. She called central office and I might have screamed out loud and people came running. And yes, because there was a meeting going on at the time. So it was a lot of fun. And then the next day I showed up to bring Janine some flowers to recognize the great accomplishment. And they were playing We Are the Champions outside at bus arrival. I was very impressed. That's right.
Lynn, can we get a little background on what was the criteria for this choice? I don't think the public knows exactly what
So-
they judged it on. It'd be nice to know that.
A formal application process that any elementary school can actually go through. You have to answer a series of questions related to, I know the specific categories, your school climate, your response to students in need, your parent and community engagement, things you do, how you are a student focused or student centered climate, collaboration around supporting students on a series of things. So you answer a narrative form and then all of the applications are put through a process where they're evaluated by a team. And from that evaluation, they spin off the finalists and then they go and do site visits and determine if you are indeed representative of this title of Elementary School of the Year. It was a unanimous vote. So the entire committee voted for Nat Jug School as one of the two finalists. It's not easy to do. And I used to be on one of the committees for CAS, so I know the process. It's quite an undertaking to become a finalist all by itself. So then to win it's even more impressive. We're happy.
Paula?
Having had the ability to read the application, I think I had mentioned earlier that it was just an incredible read. But then to actually be there and see these folks in action, going through the classes, it's one thing to say you're invested in it, but they live it. The explanation, the total amount of information that they were able to give on every program, on every staff member, it was just astounding to me that they knew it, they live it. It was amazing. It was truly amazing. And I walked away knowing that they were going to win.
Well, thanks for joining us this evening. And of course, you don't have to stick around if you don't want to. Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Janine. Next on my superintendent's report is the biweekly attendance and discipline data. I can let the board know that I am meeting with my leadership team, the instructional folks on my leadership team on Friday. We have more work to do around trying to reduce the in and out of school suspensions. So that's taking place on March 15th. I don't know if there's any questions on the chart.
Yeah, I am concerned that the numbers at the high school in all categories have increased except for the expulsions.
Yeah, so I actually can just give the board some information about that because I did ask all of the principals to give me the rationale behind any places where there were significant increases or significant decreases in the data. The high school has been focusing on trying to eliminate the use of cell phones, particularly the use of cell phones when videotaping things that they really shouldn't be videotaping that are then used in social media. So they have really cracked down and it has increased their in and out of school suspensions. So it's one of the things they're really working hard at. They think it's something that has to be done to make sure they have a positive school climate. So that is one of the reasons why that's happening.
Are we thinking of getting those locking pouches? Because that is a very good initiative. I think that the state is sponsoring.
That's a great question. I haven't actually polled my leadership team about it. It probably will come up as a discussion item tomorrow, Friday in our meeting, but we haven't had a discussion about it.
I did share information about that program with Dr. Youngberg, based on what there's been a lot of articles written in the media about where they're testing it. Thank you.
I just, Mr. Chairwoman. Lynn?
Tina, go ahead.
Yes, as usual, I would like to always put it in the perspective of how many students are in each school. I don't know if a column can be added where we see, like comparison of numbers and also how many of those students are repeat offenses. As a routine, as to have that as a
So
routine.
Katina, you want for us every 2 weeks to add the unique student report?
I think it's pretty helpful to have it at least once a month. I'm saying that it helps me understand like the dynamic. If there are so many students being suspended, or if it's a core group of students who's having 2 incidents during the same month, or especially for the in-school suspension, just because it puts in perspective how many students are doing well and behaving and following directions.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll add the column. Next up is,
Excuse me.
Ilda has her hand
Oh.
up.
Yes, I noticed, well, I was looking at the total incidences and Barrows in the middle, well, actually the middle school is the highest, then Barrows. So 378 and 555 for the middle school. Do we know what those are? It says total of incidences.
that's all the behavior that's actually entered into the system.
That's a lot. We focus on the high school, but those two are not doing too well either. Is it the
Well,
same situations with
I
the cell
just-
phones?
I just want to warn I just want to, I guess, caution about reading the data that way, because if you're experiencing an issue in your schools, if you don't document and monitor behavior, then you have other problems. So it doesn't always mean they're not doing well. It means they're faced with challenges they're trying to respond to. So I just want to be careful that way. I wouldn't be able to answer the question, what created the 300 or 500 incidents without looking at the data.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is just a memo from Wyndham Pride after the public comment on the information that was shared by the board at the last meeting. They have decided not to put out their survey for this year. They're looking to hopefully get to a place for the start of next school year. Then we just want to update the board, let the board know that our Family and Community Engagement Department, or FACE, has been working with providing parent sessions the PEP program, or People Empowering People. I guess something the district has done in the past and has reinstated it after COVID. So I don't know if there's any questions. I have the director of FACE in the audience if there are.
No, that's exciting.
Yeah, and did we get the picture? There was a wonderful picture of your class. Oh, okay. We'll share it with the board later. Okay, great. Then again, just to let the board know, we had another successful professional development day on March 1st. There were over 30 sessions offered to over 400 staff members on that day, and we've just given you a little bit of information about that March 1st PD day. Then we provided the board with an update of the exciting things happening at Barrows. And actually, I know we had at least one judge at Barrows. Paula, you were at Barrows judging the invention convention. You were in 3rd grade, okay. Oh, Katina, you were also there. Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you very much to the board members who took part in that. I was able to get over for the 2nd day to see those students who had advanced on to the finals, and they were some pretty impressive projects. They really are inventive and creative, and they think out of the box for sure. So that was exciting.
Tina? Yes, I would like to add that this year I was a judge in 6th grade. And the total amount of time that the other gentleman and I were talking to each one of the students, that class was perfectly behaved. Like, they were so courteous. I could not get over that there was not even a little noise. And their projects, it was too bad we couldn't name more than 2 per class, because their projects were extremely creative and well thought through. So thank you for inviting me. And I had a great time, a serious and great time all at once.
Thank you.
Thank you. Paula, did you want to say something?
What I found amazing was the students encouraging each other. You know, they all had their projects. They knew exactly what they were supposed to do with their presentations. And if someone kind of faltered a little bit, person next to them was encouraging them. Well, show her what's on your graph. I mean, they were just amazing. And yeah, unique, great ideas. We'll see who wins.
That's right. All right, switching gears from our science projects to our Arts Expo. We are coming up on the 2nd annual district-wide Arts Expo. We actually have Enoch Robbins in the audience. This is like sort of your thing, right? Is it? Yeah, absolutely. So the board members have a copy of the flyer to remind you that the kindergarten through 5th grade students are performing on Wednesday, March 20th. And the 6th through 12th grade students are performing on Thursday, March 21st. And on both days, there'll be an art gallery that will include artwork from pre-K to 12. So this is really a wonderful showcase of our talented students and our talented educators from our music and art departments. And it was a really well-attended event last year. We packed the house at Wyndham Middle School's auditorium. So I hope it's going to be the same way this year. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and this was just the program from one of the nights. There is another program that wasn't ready for this evening, but.
Right, you have the flyer in English and Spanish, and then one of the night's programs, and we're working on the other one. Thank you.
He wasn't on the microphone, but he said the reason the program isn't ready is that we are they're settling on the soloists who are going to be performing that night. So we'll hear more about it, I'm sure. Thank you. Mary?
Yeah, I just had a question going back a minute to the professional development. I did look at the schedule and I'm just wondering, are there opportunities for teachers to do some types of professional development on a more flexible schedule in terms of webinars and things? Because I mean, that is very common in universities.
Neil, do you want to respond to that question from the PD committee?
We did have some sessions that had webinars this time. We do try to include that into our offerings. We were just talking about this is usually like kind of a delicate balance. So WECC that was here earlier in the high school, many of their sessions sometimes have accreditation requirements, so that does sometimes take up some of theirs. And we try to make sure some of our district-wide programs have enough PD throughout the PD days, but there were offerings that were webinars and self-paced in different sessions. And we do try to have a balance so that through the course of the year, as many people get that opportunity. We're not always perfect with it, but we do try.
Thank you. So now that we're through the superintendent's reports, we're on to the committee reports, and I'll hand it over to you, Brendan, from the school planning and design.
Thank you. We met last week along with some representatives of the town, including Chris Johnson and Matt Vertifay, as well as Mary Ann Daly from the Board of Finance regarding the elementary school consolidation. Dr. Youngberg provided an update to us that the state has no preference as to whether or not the Board of Ed or the town council appoints a committee to start the planning, the formal planning for the new school building. So you'll note that it's on our agenda tonight to discuss and possibly take action on forming an elementary construction planning committee. After that, Mr. Johnson made some comments about starting an appropriation for the initial planning phase and where that funding may come from. We talked about sharing our vision with town council, and as Ms. Hyde said earlier, we are invited to speak to them later on about that. And then Matt Vertifay updated us on the land negotiations. Outside of that, there was some brief discussion on the capital improvement projects, which had already been approved for next year at that point, as well as some facilities updates regarding the new facilities truck and repairs to barrows from the fire last year.
Thank you, Brendan. Are there any questions or comments? Mary?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, I mean, in terms of school planning, I think there's still a bit of shock and turmoil, about the announcement that Wyndham Center will be closed. And I'm confused about the timeline for that. And I just wonder what the staff have been told and the parents, because that was in our budget book. So, I mean,
Well, there is no decision that has been made about that. It's a recommendation that has been made by Dr. Youngberg. The board needs to take formal action on it. And we decided at our last meeting that we would set aside a specific agenda item for the board to discuss that in a lot more detail.
So I can let you know, I've been in communication with Wyndham Center staff, and of course, the closing of a school doesn't just impact the school that's being closed, because it shuffles a lot of people around. So, but the Wyndham Center staff was concerned by the recommendations. I have reached out to them and have asked them to compile their questions, because I'm told they have questions, of course. I'll be responding to their questions in writing. Neil and I are already planning to be at Wyndham Center School on April 1st for their staff meeting. We're visiting all staffs to deliver our achievement data isolated by race. So it's already in the works. We are extending that meeting to discuss the recommendations and to potentially answer their questions. I did let them know that I recommended the board do a special meeting to have a discussion in either April or May about this. So they know that I've made the recommendation, but no decision has been made. I explained my rationales. I've explained to the board. I think given our declining enrollment and the district's long-range fiscal health, I don't know how we continue on the path of opening or keeping all of our schools open. Because what will essentially happen if we do that is that we'll end up having to make cuts. We'll be eliminating staff and programs and materials and potentially opportunities, because we won't be able to continue on this path. So that's why I made the recommendation.
I'd like to just say that we should hold this and have a full discussion about it. Okay? Because right now is not the proper time. It's not noticed on the agenda as such, and we're not going to be making a decision without having a discussion. I just want to reiterate again that ultimately despite any recommendations from the superintendent, it is a board decision. Okay, and people on the board, when asked about it, should say, we're having a discussion about it. We will make a decision one way or the other about it. Okay, thanks, folks. Any other comments on the school planning and design report or questions? Okay, if there aren't any, Mark, I'll hand it over to you, finance and audit.
Yeah, we met right before the meeting tonight. We reviewed the year-to-date figures and we continue to be on target to be close or maybe a little over for the end of the year. So we will meet our budget, I should say. Maybe I should say a little under, not over. So yes, we'll be a little under. So we'll meet our target for the end of the year. Review the ESSER grants applications or ESSER grants spending to date, and we are still on track to have those grant money spent before they expire and to have them spent on school-related items such as the summer school program coming up this year. And then we review the transfers, and we're going to recommend tonight a transfer amount of $1,315,530. That is also includes a correction. There were some transfers we approved last month that we didn't realize were doubled. They were listed twice, and Rita has found those and pulled them out. And so this figure represents the transfers less those mistakes, so that we're on year to date, we're on line with our transfers.
Any comments or questions? I just want to say that the doubling that Mark referred to, if I understood correctly from the discussion we had at the finance meeting, had to do with transferring information from the Munis program into Excel. And so it's not like it just was like a
Right, it was a
complicating-
clerical error, not a gross oversight.
Right, it's not
Yes.
like we're doubling all the way
Right.
through the year on numerous things.
Just certain line items, you were correct. I also should mention that.
Did you want to say something about that? Or maybe I didn't explain it correctly.
I just wanted to clarify, it was a copy and paste, twice instead of a doubling up.
Thank you. I knew it had something to do with transferring Munis over to Excel. So copy and paste made it appear twice.
I should also mention that on the agenda was a item to discuss health insurance cost, and we postponed that until next month when we get more accurate information from the state. So.
And at the appropriate time, we'll bring it to the full board, because if we decide we want to pursue that, the full board would have to make a decision on that. Thanks. Okay, seeing no more hands, we'll go on to the discussion items on the agenda. And the first item is increasing educator diversity, the plan for that. And I'm assuming somebody from your team or you are going to be presenting on that?
It's actually, Grace is going to be at the microphone, but I do want to share with you, and you can see on the screen, recently, and in the last couple days, the Ed site included the 23-24 data in terms of our educators of color and students of color. So I have the data summarized for the board. I'd like to pass these out so you have the most up-to-date data, because what's included in the board packet doesn't include 23-24 because it wasn't available on Ed's site. Yep. So the plan that Grace is going to go over with you is due to the state on March 15th. And when they first sent out the plan, they didn't necessarily tell superintendents they needed board approval. Then that came just a few weeks back. So we are looking for the board to vote on this plan tonight. You'll see from, if you had a chance to read the plan, and once Grace explains to you, you'll see it's a lot of the things you're already aware that the district is doing to try to increase our educators of color. So I'll hand things over to Grace, our Director of HR. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Youngberg. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. I'm sorry. I'd like to just share with everyone that this is an initiative that the state requires all local and regional boards to complete. So pretty much what they did was they gave a template to everyone, and we needed to attend a couple different webinars through the state of Connecticut. After the webinars, they also issued us a couple of guidebooks. One is creating an action plan for sustaining efforts to increase educator diversity, as well as creating a district plan to increase the racial, ethnic, and linguistic diversity of your educator workforce. So in a combination of the webinars and the guidebooks and toolbooks that they shared with us, we also did a little consultation with Dr. Regina Hopkins. She is the educational consultant in the talent office of the Connecticut State Department of Education. So we had a lot of resources to work off of. And so to be able to do that, Joyce, who is in our department working with the coordinator of strategic initiatives, who works with me on increasing diversity and just with retention and recruitment with the Human Resources Department, as well as the whole leadership and the different departments. We put together a proposal, a draft of the plan based on the information that was shared with us, which I will go through, which it's a matter of 3 parts of recruiting, recruitment, hiring, and selection and retention. So together again with the superintendent, district leadership, as well as departments such as the Equity and Multilingual Education Department, EME, we've put together all of our initiatives into this plan. So the front page, we have a little bit of our vision, which is a school district and community will hold a commitment to support cultural and linguistic diversity, deep student and staff engagement, and the pursuit of lifelong learning that will support our staff and students' success in college, career, and life. Together with the community, Wyndham Public Schools will be the exemplary showcase of diversity, acceptance, and inclusion. And then our theory of action. Wyndham Public Schools' goal is to increase the inclusive consciousness of all employees. A multi-tiered approach that focuses on educating those invested in recruitment, selection, hiring, development, and retention, as well as existing staff on exclusive mindsets and actions. So together again with all of the leaders, we've put this together. If we go to the first page, it focuses on recruitment, and a lot of these items, it has been reported out by Mrs. Paula Haney as part of the Personnel Committee. So you've heard of a lot of these different things that we have been working on, but I'll just quickly just go through it, and at the end, if there's any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. So for recruitment, some of the initiatives, of course, it's always to attract diverse candidates. So what would we be doing? We would update language and images in marketing materials to showcase the cultural diversity. Research what, where, when for the historically Black colleges where they will host career fairs so we can start attending them as well. Actively recruit soon-to-be college graduates from Puerto Rico, which is an initiative that we started last year. Also with hiring international teachers, as well as from the Hispanic Alliance universities. Also focusing on certified teachers by utilizing Handshake, which is an online platform that colleges and universities use throughout the country and the globe. Also, we don't want to forget about our non-certified staff as well. We need to make sure that we're utilizing the American Job Career Center and other recruitment entities as well. Also, the newly designed recruitment booklet. I know that I had shared that one that we had done last year. So this year we want to just make sure we're using in combination the state of the school's report, which comes from the superintendent's office, to incorporate into that book to make sure we can update it. And in that book, we're also going to be featuring employees that have been working in the district, so we can show all the different types of, diversity that we have with employees that have been here for a very long time to employees that have just started recently with us, some that just come from all over the world, and their experiences here at Wyndham Public Schools, because I think it's really important to be able to showcase that to candidates that are looking to come to Wyndham Public Schools. Also, we're utilizing student interns and occasional contracted workers, as well as attending career fairs. Again, we've gone to Connecticut, New York, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. They're in person, they're virtual. We're trying to, utilize all the different means that we have to be able to recruit staff. And most importantly, we want to grow our own. It's so important to be able to reach out to the staff that we currently have. So whether it be, students that have graduated, which we listed here, we want to work for the non-certified workforce staff, be able to see if we can entice them to come and work with us here at Wyndham Public Schools. But at the same time, we want to work with other non-certified staff to see if they're interested in a certified position or maybe somewhere else in the district, and see if we can help them reach their goals. Then if we go to the hiring and the selection initiative, we have two of them listed. The first one is to increase diversity by reducing bias in the hiring and selection. So we're going to be required during Safe Schools, which is our training platform that'll be sent out to everyone regarding biases. And then also we're going to establish guidelines and requirements for hiring committees. So we're going to create and implement a series of requirements for interviewing candidates and include the creation of a feedback committee. So together with the district, we want to make sure that we're going to have something that's consistent throughout to make sure that everyone is following the same type of procedures for hiring. Then if we go on to the next page for retention, we have 3 goals listed. The first one is to learn what stumbling blocks are occurring during year 1 of employment. So that's the creation and distribution of monitoring the new hire surveys. We'll start off with 3 different surveys, one at the beginning of the year, one at the middle of the year, and one at the end of the year. So we can reach out to these new hires and try to find out, what's working really well, what do they like, what can we do, either as a department, as a district, as a department, or as a school, on how we can help them and help future candidates that come on board. The second one would be to learn why staff leave. We really need to know it's important. What are the reasons why they're leaving? So it's just working on our exit interview and try to, gather as much information we can, with the hopes of, decreasing our turnover. And then the third one is to train staff on DEI, which is, diversity and exclusion, equity. We want to make sure that we're implementing the formal process for diversity, equity, and inclusion training that involves in-person, online sessions, and also experts when possible to make sure that everybody is trained in that. Are there any questions? Mary?
Yes. I have a couple of comments. First, I have not heard any additional follow-up on the Historically Black College Initiative, which I did hear about last year. Also, when you write actively recruit soon-to-be college graduates from Puerto Rico, I certainly hope other people who may have graduated farther back are still included because they may be making career changes. The other comment is, about hiring linguistically and culturally diverse international teachers. When I read hiring, I take that as offering a permanent position. So I don't know how that's possible. And also, if we were saying without further qualification, is this German-speaking teachers, which does not seem to be a need here. There is a distinction in the U.S. Census Bureau about European speakers at, again, not necessarily increasing diversity as opposed to, Latin Americans or Puerto Ricans. So I would like clarification on this hiring international teachers, if that is a permanent position we are offering people and how we are doing that. And whether we should have a focus that is more pertinent to New World people and the, lack of opportunity that has historically existed.
Okay, I'd like to, three parts that I'd like to answer for you. On the historically Black colleges, we are doing researches to see where we can go. It turns out, though, that a lot of them are out of state. So we really have to incorporate into our budget in order for us to be able to go out of state to be able to visit these colleges. And they're not the states that are like surrounding Connecticut where we can go and come back in one day. It would be something where we would have to actually go and probably do an overnight. So that's something that, we are looking into because it's something that we would like to do for the district. It just takes a little bit of time. The second part was regarding the visiting teachers. Oh, Puerto Rico, sorry, Puerto Rico. Yes, for Puerto Rico, again, we're not only looking at just graduate, teachers. We have that listed here as the goal, but when we did go to Puerto Rico, we did speak to several different administrators and colleges and universities, and they are aware that we are seeking other individuals that are alumni that have graduated, that are looking for positions. And obviously, they're given the opportunity for us to go back. We're going to open it up to a lot more individuals because with the research that we did with one of our student interns that focused on looking at the different sources in Puerto Rico that we can reach out to. There are lots of different alumni associations and a lot of other different organizations that we can reach out to as well to be able to get individuals to come and work for us. So it's not just people that have graduated recently. And as far as reaching out to the visiting teachers, anytime they come over here, we do give them the opportunity to work here and they do get a permanent position just like any other teacher. The only difference with them is that because of their visas, they're only allowed to be here for a certain amount of time. After that, then they do have to return back to their country. And it is from a year-to-year basis. However, I think it's a wonderful opportunity for us when we're looking at hiring individuals and being diverse, that we're doing it from all different aspects of, that's available to us. And one of them is, bringing teachers from other countries for our students.
Thank you, Grace. I have a couple, oh, you have a question, Paula? Go ahead.
Actually, a comment, but if you want to
Go ahead and comment. I have some questions.
I just wanted to make a statement. As you said, we have been covering a lot of this over time in the Personnel Committee. And while the state is now asking for this plan, it was pretty incredible reading over it and saying, yeah, we've been doing that. We did that.
Yes.
We are doing that. And I think, again, Wyndham leads the band.
Thank you.
I do want to acknowledge in the chart that's on the screen and in the information that was given to us, the consistent progress that we've made over the years. So I don't think we should, we should look at the progress too. And there's a lot more progress to be made, but I just want to make that point.
Absolutely.
I want to laud you, for that. And, oh, did you want to say something
Well,
about that?
Well, I
Yeah,
just
there's
wanted to say,
more, but
oh, go ahead. You go first.
I know through my work with some of the bigger districts in the state, through my job, I work with people from Hartford, Bridgeport, New Haven, and from the teachers union, with the teachers unions and other entities there that are trying to increase diversity in their, and there's been a lot written lately about some of the successes in New Haven in particular. And then I started thinking about Madeline Negron and our connections with her connections to this district. And I don't know how much time psychically or in reality you have to be connecting with other districts that are having some successes, slow successes. There's no like magic wand that can be waved, but I want to, figure out ways that we can connect with those districts and learn from what they're doing too, and maybe piggyback on some of their work.
Yes, we've actually have spoken to a couple of them, and we've had webinars even from like states in Georgia, you know, with universities over there. And actually another one of our student interns that we had, they actually focused on just visiting teachers and diversity and different programs, whether it's Puerto Rico or whether it's through the J1 visas, you know, to try to find out, you know, what's worked for those other districts, you know, who is using them, what types of initiatives they're giving to these employees. Are they not giving them initiatives? Are they, you know, being creative and doing something else? So we have a whole list, and the project needed to be done by March 15th. That was the deadline. And they actually completed it a little bit sooner than that. So that's something that now we're going to sit down and take a look at and, you know, see who else we can reach out to get more information.
I just, you know, think moving forward, not to put too much on your plate. The other thing that I've been very encouraged by was some of the that we talked about some of the recent hires that we've made of people who came out of this district. And since this district is so diverse, its student body is so diverse, that seems like something we should be featuring in our handbooks and capitalizing on. And I know that one of the recent things I read about New Haven was exactly that kind of thing, what they were doing to try to hire kids from the district who came up through the district. So I know you're thinking and working on these things. I
Well-
just want to like emphasize that.
And I just want to point out for the 23-24 data, I think Wyndham sells itself short, and we're doing it here. So we have a pretty significant increase in our educators of color for all the reasons mentioned in the plan and that you've heard. The reality is when you take a look and analyze our data, we're actually ahead of New Haven, because the goal is for us to have a percent, you know, to close the gap between the students of color and your educators of color. And when you spin out the data, ours is actually slightly higher than New Haven. So just, I don't want to sell us short. We're doing okay. We really are. So, yeah.
Any other questions?
Lynn?
Yes.
Uh,
Oh, Katina, I'm sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
no,
I was looking at
worry.
Robinson because he's leaning forward while we're having this conversation. Katina?
Sorry, my voice is not very good today. I'm not. But I was gonna say a couple of things. Number one is look at that graph of 23, 24, proportionally from the state. We have more students, and proportionally from the state, we have more diverse staff. I mean, of course, that's the average of the state, right? But okay, I'm just gonna focus on that we're doing good. Also, I would thank you, Grace, for all you and your staff are doing. I would ask the teachers that are in the district if they have family and friends who want to come and live here, because you know the word of mouth and our own publicity of ourselves is really effective. So if you could please encourage teachers and ask, hey, you have relatives in Puerto Rico who want to move over, let's do it. As I can testify for my own family. That's that. So thank you for doing that. And the last thing is, what could be barriers, like the social factors of health? What are the social factors of accomplishing higher degrees and also certifications? Might be the financial and economic one. I'm pretty sure it is, actually. And so how could we promote and alleviate some of that financial stress on our own community? As we know, we are the 177th in income of the 179th in Connecticut. So how can we help with those financial issues of taking tests or registering fees or things like that we could help out those who want to become teachers? Thank you for listening.
Thank you. We'll definitely take that all into consideration. I appreciate it.
anything else?
I don't have anything else. Thank you, Grace.
you.
Obviously, we want the board to vote on whether or not they
approve
approve this submission for the state. Yes.
Right, that's under the action items. Thank you. Now we're on to discussion about whether or not we're going to be voting tonight to create an ad hoc elementary construction planning committee. And it would be good if Brendan and or Tracy would explain to the board the reasoning for this. This is not a it's not a building committee. That would be a different town created committee when and if we get to that point with the town.
So basically what we're looking for is sort of the pre-planning stages. So we need a committee that's going to help us put together the RFQ, RFP that would help the district to hire that project manager, project management firm. So we need the group that's going to help us do the beginning stages of the process. So this committee would be essentially part of that, doing that work.
And we're talking about, it's not a committee to revisit the idea of this. The board has already voted to move forward on this, and it's keeping that moving forward.
Correct.
Right. So it would be ad hoc, and would be created up and would serve up until such a time as it isn't really needed anymore. Correct, Brendan? You want to say anything about that?
Yeah, no, that's my understanding as well. It's to get the initial pre-planning pieces in place so that we can move forward with the referendum and get to a point where we can actually establish a building committee.
Lynn?
Right. So are there any thoughts, questions on that? We could potentially be taking action on this evening. Katina.
Yes, I would respectfully suggest that this committee is made of the participants of the building committee plus other board members, and that we work really well together and even have the meetings of the elementary construction planning committee following the building committee meeting, so that we are in conjunction and walking hand in hand.
Do you mean the schools? Do you mean the school planning and design committee?
No, I
What do you mean
meant,
by the building committee?
no, I'm so sorry. Brandon's committee.
Yeah, that's school
yeah,
planning and
Yeah,
design.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, for the vocabulary. Thank you.
Thank you, Katina. That's one suggestion. Anybody else have any thoughts on this or questions? Okay, well, then we'll just wait till we get to action items unless Tracy or anybody else, Brendan wants to say anything. And then at that point, if we create this committee, I would be interested in having people on the board let me know if they're interested in being on the committee so that I can appoint the members as the chair. Okay. There's one person already who's told me they're interested in the committee, and that is Mark Doyle. Just going to out you right now. Okay, so we'll keep moving on. We have policy revisions for the second reading, and that's for relations with non-custodial parents and travel and exchange programs. Katina, as the chair of the policy committee, is there anything you want to say?
These are policies that were discussed when Brandon did me the favor of chipping in and leading the meeting. But we have postponed them to be discussed tonight as they are important policies that needed to be updated. And so it will be up to the board to vote them in. I hope we do. Brandon, do you want to comment anything else since you led that meeting?
I'm just looking back over them, you know, a lot of it was mainly cleanup for the most part.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
I don't think there was any substantial changes to these more
Mhm.
than, updating policies that hadn't been updated in 15
Mhm.
years.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, then we'll move on to action items. Before we take action on the first item, there was a late addition brought to me. And I'm going to ask your indulgence to add one more action item to the agenda. It would be item number H, and I would entertain a motion to add acceptance of a $1,000 gift from the Willimantic Elks Lodge in support of the Whippet Readers program at Sweeney Elementary. And this is a program in which members of the National Honor Society go to the elementary classes and read with the students. It's if we could add it to the agenda to accept that $1,000 gift from the Willimantic Elks for this program, that would be great. Would somebody like to make that motion?
I'll make the motion that we add action item H, acceptance of the $1,000 gift for Sweeney
For the Whippet
Second.
Readers program?
Readers program to the agenda.
Second.
Okay, Mark made that motion. Katina seconded it?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so any further discussion? This is just to add it to the agenda. All those in favor, please indicate by raising their hands. Okay, we're adding it to the agenda as number H. Thanks. Don't let me forget it then. So the first item on the agenda, I'd entertain a motion to vote on to approve increasing the educator diversity plan in order to present it, in order to pass it along to the state as required. Would somebody like to make that motion to approve that plan?
So
Paula.
moved.
Seconded by Katina, maybe, since you tried to move it. Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. Opposed? Abstentions? One abstention. Motion carries. Then item B is I'd entertain a motion to form an ad hoc, I'd like to say ad hoc elementary construction planning committee.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Brendan, seconded by Mark. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. Okay, it passes. I would ask folks to approach me after this meeting or call me or email me in the next few days if you're interested. Thank you. Then we have two policies to vote on. We could take one motion to approve both of them, perhaps.
I would move we take action item C and D as one motion for approval. Or for vote.
Motion made by Mark,
Second.
seconded by Alicia. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Now I would entertain a motion to approve this CSDE Healthy Food Annual Recertification for school year 24-25.
So moved.
Motion made by Katina,
Second.
on the back. Oh, okay. Oh, we need very specific language. Okay. There's the motion language. Would somebody like to read that and make that motion?
So these are two different motions? Okay.
Yeah. First motion is for the healthy food option. The second motion is for combined food and beverage exemptions.
So
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Pursuant to Connecticut General Statute, Section 10-215F, the Board of Education or governing authority certifies that all food items offered for sale to students in the schools under its jurisdiction and not accepted from the Connecticut Nutrition Standards published by the Connecticut State Department of Education will comply with the Connecticut Nutrition Standards during the period of July 1st, 2024 through July 30th, 2025. This certification shall include all food offered for sale to students separately from reimbursable meals at all times from all sources, including but not limited to school stores, vending machines, school cafeterias, and any fundraising activities on school premises sponsored by the school or by non-school organizations and groups.
You're making that motion, Mary.
Second.
Seconded by Mark. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. Okay, motion carries. Then item number F, which is combined food and beverage exemptions language. Who would like to read that? Mary, you were Paul is going to read it. Okay.
The Board of Education or governing authority will allow the sale to students of food items that do not meet the Connecticut nutrition standards and beverages not listed in Section 10-221Q of the Connecticut General Statutes, provided that the following conditions are met. 1, the sale is in connection with an event occurring after the end of the regular school day or on the weekend. 2, the sale is at the location of the event. And 3, the food and beverage items are not sold from a vending machine or school store. An event is an occurrence that involves more than just a regularly scheduled practice, meeting, or extracurricular activity. For example, soccer games, school plays, and interscholastic debates are events, but soccer practices, play rehearsals, and debate team meetings are not. The regular school day is the period from midnight before to 30 minutes after the end of the official school day. Location means where the event is being held and must be the same place as the food and beverage sales.
Motion made by Paula. Who would like to second that motion?
Second.
Oh, I think Brendan got it. Okay, any further discussion?
I'm just curious, which staff member isn't stalking the school 30 minutes after midnight? Is that lie to Neil? Is that his responsibility?
If Neil's been drinking as many cups of coffee as he does, sometimes it might be Neil. Although I'm assuming there's no further discussion.
No.
All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by raising your hand. Okay, motion carries. And now we're on to budget transfers. Mark, would you like to do us the pleasure of making that motion?
I'd like to read it, yes. We're going to recommend a transfer of the Finance Committee recommends a transfer of $1,315,530 transfer that'll for correction of line items, basically.
Second,
Seconded by Katina, a motion made by Mark. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hands. Okay, motion carries. And then finally, item number H, motion to add, to accept a $1,000 gift from the Willimantic Elks for the Whippet Readers Program at Sweeney School.
So moved, Ilda.
Motion made by Brendan. Who would like to second it?
Second, Ilda.
Ilda seconded it. Okay. Any further discussion?
Just do one quick, I'm very appreciative of the donation. What is the money being used for? Is it transportation or is it, what is the?
I actually am going to have to get clarification on that because I'm not sure, but I know it does involve transporting the kids between the schools and their reading. So it's possible it also involves the purchasing of books, but let me find out for you. My guess is it's the buses because they're the most
assume it's the
costly
buses,
these
yeah,
days.
right.
Do people feel comfortable approving this without that specific
Yes, I do.
information? Okay. All those
Yes,
in
we'll take
favor of
it.
the motion that's on the floor? Okay, it's passed. Is there any public comment this evening? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn at 8:25.
I move, we move.
Meeting adjourned. Thanks, folks.